And welcome. It's the 30-day depression challenge, and today we're actually going to have a look at some practical things that you can do to intervene at each of the 4 steps. So we're going to do one step at a time. So we're going to work to begin with the stage of fast. So as you'll remember, fast equates to mania in the event of a full expression of it, so you become manic. But for most of you who are watching this, you'll be what they call hypomanic. So in other words, you're only at the very, very bottom of the tip of what might be possible inside a mania. But nonetheless, it's going to have a profound impact on the cycle and the depth of which you might go into either the slow or the control phases to follow on from it. So what can we do about this fast phase if we find ourselves in fast? Well, the first thing is that you actually have to recognize what fast is like. So you have to begin the process of waking up sufficiently that you can have seen yourself running through these kind of cycles, and you can begin to see and feel the texture, the taste, the texture, the smell of what fast is like. And it's going to feel as though things are very, very pressured and that there is a tremendous amount to be done. So in other words, there's just this incredible overloading and ever overloading set of things that actually need to be achieved, and you're going to be busy achieving them. So you're really busy. Now you're either going to be very excited about this, you're very happy, very excited, I've got all these things to do and isn't it wonderful, and can I bring in some more stuff to add to the equation? Or you're going to be very grumpy about it. You're going to feel very angry that you're actually being put into a situation where you're actually needing to cope with all of the stuff that's going on. So you'll either be aggressive or angry, or you'll be very, very happy. One way or another, you're going to be in this process of just absolute consumption. So everything's going crazy. So that's really the when you get into it, when you actually start recognizing this flavor of what fast is like, you can begin to take some intervention. So what can you do? For you to be able to lift out of fast and just go back into happiness, particularly if it's going to be happiness around being awake. So in other words, what we're talking about is breaking the cycle so that you're not going to have to run through everything else in the cycle. Perhaps it might be just a split second that you're going to be in each of these other places, getting your way back to happy again. If you to achieve that, you actually literally have to wake up and you have to begin to take the heat out of the situation. So you've got to take the pace out of what's going on. You've got to lower down all this chemistry which is actually making you really fast, and your entire metabolism has to come back into order. So there's a whole heap of things that you can do about that. Now, obviously there's a range of diet issues that can be applied so that you're getting the right nutrition coming into your body, and we're going to talk more about that later. But for now, we're going to talk much more about the thought-related things. So what you can do is you can begin to make some priorities. Try and bring everything back to the present. So when you're in fast, you're very focused on the future. So it's always about stuff that you're going to achieve out here. And what you want to do is actually bring everything back into the present and say, what's the optimum use of my time right now? What can I do right now that will best serve me? So bring the priorities and the actions, the activities, the intentions, everything, bring it out of the future, bring it right back here into the present, be aware, be present, and be able to focus. So some things that you can do there. The first thing that pops into my mind is to do some deep breathing. So you recognize that you're in fast and you're really head up and everything's all go. Take some deep breaths. Ask yourself the question, what's the number one priority for me right now? If you do those 2 things, then you're going to begin to eliminate the focus on all this crazy amounts of things that actually need to be done running from here out into the future. So rather than worrying about what you're going to do about a child's birthday in 4 months' time, bring it all the way back to what's happening right now. What could I be doing right at this very, very moment? Second thing that you can do is a subtle energy approach. So one of the best subtle energy approaches is to focus into the chakras, and the easiest way to do that is just to take the few deep breaths. So By taking deep breaths, I mean breathing right out and breathing all the way in. In so doing, you will be automatically scanning the chakras, and the chakras will be able to begin to operate better. And indeed, from a clinical perspective, there's no better sign of what's actually going on inside a client than when you look at their breath and you actually see where they're holding their breath. Very, very telling situation. So taking a few deep breaths is going to take you on this path and towards getting this kind of centering within the chakras. Next thing that you can do is you can actually look into your chakras. So this requires a bit of meditation, and so you have to be quiet, sufficiently quiet. Another good thing if you're in fast is to actually go quiet and allow some stillness and some space to actually occur there. But once you're actually in a reasonably meditative sort of a state, which might be quite challenging inside a fast, but as best you can, you get yourself into some sort of meditative state, then just observe what's going on. What's happening up here in the crown? Can you see a still center? So you'll see a lot of activity, a lot of movement going on. Is there a still center? Scan down into the brow. Have a look at what's happening in the brow. You see all sorts of activity. There might be things that are a bit awry and a bit difficult and that type of thing. Well and good, you can work on that in due course. But for now, look for the still center. Where is the still center inside the chakra? Focus on that still center. Throat, same thing. Find that still center. Heart, find the still center in the heart. Solar plexus, find the still center in the solar plexus. Sacral, find the still center in the sacral. Root chakra, find that still center. By doing that, you're going to make a tremendous change to what's going on. And for somebody who is just going into a moderate amount of fast, those things that we're just talking about there at the moment will probably be sufficient. If you're going into a full manic episode, well then, there can be many other things that can be done from a consciousness perspective to really assist in that, and we can talk further about that. We might actually do a separate webinar or something like that on that topic, because it's a huge topic, a really big topic, and of course for some people there's no escaping actually having some medical help. So if you find that you're absolutely lost inside this mania, then you need medical help. And certainly would suggest that myself to anybody who's actually suffering in that way. But for the huge majority of people who are watching this, they maybe, I don't know, I'll pluck a number out of the air, 99% of the people who are watching this video, starting by approaching it in the way that we're talking about, will take the edge off it tremendously. If you need further support, well, we're going to go into that in the future webinars. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Tomorrow we're going to look at the practical things that we can do once we get into slow. And so that's going to be fun. We'll talk about that. And don't forget to share this video as widely as you possibly can. I'm sure you know people who are suffering from anxiety, depression or mania, or just being fast, slow, or needing to get control in their lives. So however it is that it's expressing themselves, please share this around and like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. So thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.